והשם יתברך תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב. השם יתברך תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב, ויהיה לי עוד יותר טוב ועוד 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 יותר טוב ותמיד יהיה.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Rima. I think it's really amazing that you guys get here every week, come together. Shortly after October 7th, I went to a pro-Palestinian rally downtown Freehold and protest the pro-Palestinian rally. And the first thing I saw was this woman coming with a sign that said "Queers for Palestine." And I said, "You got to be kidding me!" And I went up to her. I said, "Do you know what they do to queers in Palestine?" She says, "No, what?" I said, "They would throw you off of a roof and murder you." And she says, "Yeah, that's not true." I said, "Why don't we go and find out?" And she walked away. And it occurred to me, like, this doesn't make any sense. This makes absolutely no sense. Anti-Semitism does not make any sense. We've been accused of being capitalists who control the banks. We've been accused of... This is a good one. The Mossad was accused by Egypt of inciting shark attacks off the coast of Egypt, and Iran even blamed Israel for stopping the clouds so that there was a drought in Iran. So if anyone's looking for a logical explanation to anti-Semitism, you're going to be searching for a very long time. So why do they hate us? Why does everyone hate us? Speaking of Greek. And the answer, I think, is from two unlikely sources. One is a Catholic priest. One second. For dramatic effect. This quote is from a Father Flannery. He says that the reason people hate the Jews is because they cannot forgive the Jew for bringing into the world the idea of a transcendent God and a divinely sanctioned moral law binding on everyone. Jews have suffered for so long because they bear the burden of God in history. Anti-Semitism is symptomatic of an animus against God, an animus deeply lodged in every person. This Catholic priest realized that people hate Jews because we represent God. You know who else said that? Conscience is a Jewish invention. It's a blemish like circumcision. Adolf Hitler said that in Mach Shemot. People hate us because we represent God. We're special people with a special nation in the world, and other people can't deal with that. There's a Rabbi Dr. David Gottlieb. He's a rabbi in Israel who used to be a philosophy professor at Johns Hopkins University. And he had a very good friend who was a Catholic priest. And the priest told him, he says, "You know what bothers me about the Holocaust? Everyone agrees that the Nazis were pure evil." He said if the Nazis were pure evil, it makes sense that they would try to destroy pure good. So why to go after the Jews and not the Catholics? That's what he asked them. So what do? We're supposed to represent God. There was a Rabbi Yochanan Wasserman, who was murdered by the Lithuanians, not by the Nazis actually, but by the Lithuanians in 1939 when they invaded. Nazis invaded Lithuania. The Lithuanians were only too excited to do the Nazis' work before the Nazis actually got there, and they murdered this Rabbi Yochanan Wasserman. So he has a piece that he wrote in the 1920s, I believe, the 1930s, and he said that he quoted a verse from Yechezkel, the book of Ezekiel. And it says, if the Jewish people try to be like the nations of the world, he says, God says, I'm not going to let that happen, and I will pour out my wrath on the Jewish people. And he wrote this in the 1930s, a few years before the Holocaust. He said, if we forget who we are, then there's going to be anti-Semitism to remind us. So what do? It's very nice that we're coming here together in Marlboro, but unfortunately we're not going to be in the New York Times. We're not even going to be in the Asbury Park Press, probably.
We were.
Oh, you were?
Yes.
That's great, because it's usually an anti-Semitic rag, in my opinion. News 12, we made it. The big leagues.
Yes.
The big leagues. What else can we do? What we can do is we can recommit to being Jews. A Jewish person is supposed to live for spirituality and connect to God. That means doing one more mitzvah, one or more of the commandments of the Torah, learning a little bit more Torah, studying a Jewish book, keeping a little bit of Shabbos. Anything we can do to be more Jewish is what will stop anti-Semitism. If anyone's interested, wants to take a specific step, would be interested in studying Torah, doing a mitzvah, please feel free to reach out to me. I know a lot of Torah teachers. Rima has my number. I'm around town. You can Google me. And again, thank you so much for having me. And may God bring all the rest of the hostages home soon.
Amen.